You're watching Newsday TV. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jill Wagner. An inside look into the Gilgo case. The Suffolk Police Commissioner came to Newsday today for a one-on-one interview. He opened up about the investigation, what he did when he first took over, and his response to those who challenged him for publicly calling Rex Heuermann a demon. Shari Einhorn has the story.
Welcome, Commissioner, and thank you for being here. And for
a candid one-on-one with Suffolk's Police Commissioner on the status of the Gilgo killings investigation. The county's top cop, Rodney Harrison, telling Newsday's Joy Brown he was surprised how few resources were dedicated to solving the cold case when he took office.
When I found out that there was one investigator assigned to this case, I was like, this case is never going to get solved like that. What we're going to do going forward, I want a sergeant, I want at least 2 detectives dedicated and assigned to this case, and that got the ball rolling.
3 detectives and that sergeant were then reassigned to investigating this case specifically. The commissioner, like the district attorney and the sheriff, praised the multi-agency task force for identifying and then arresting a suspect, Rex Heuermann, from Massapequa Park. But he admitted when he first reached out to the FBI about participating, he says the agency was reluctant.
We were concerned about, I guess, some past relationships where they weren't necessarily part of being inside the loop of the case. So I reassured them. I said, that's something that you don't have to worry about any further.
When asked if Heuermann would be connected to the other bodies found along Ocean Parkway, Commissioner Harrison said, time will tell. Harrison told a room full of Newsday reporters he didn't sleep in the days before the arrest.
It was scary knowing that this individual was still on the streets.
But once the suspect was in custody, Harrison described him as a demon, a description he admits he's been challenged on. I asked him about it.
I'm very confident that Rex Heuermann's our subject. Because of my confidence, I'm going to call him what I want to call him. Somebody that ruined families, somebody who's a predator, somebody who shattered lives.
For Newsday TV, I'm Shari Einhorn.
You can watch that full 30-minute conversation with the police commissioner now. Just head over to Newsday.com. Meanwhile, a new development today in the Gilgo court case. A judge ruled Rex Heuermann must submit a cheek swab to prosecutors. Court papers show the defense team challenged the request, arguing there was no probable cause for the swab. Prosecutors are hoping that more DNA can strengthen their case. A second man has been arrested in connection with a hate crime against a same-sex couple. Police say 66-year-old Thomas Gare Jr. and another man assaulted and harassed 2 women watching a sunset back in May. Authorities say it happened on Mascot Dock in Patchogue. That other suspect, Joseph Kress, was arrested back in June. Only in Newsday, there is an energy revolution here on Long Island, but cleaner energy can come with higher costs. Newsday TV's Macy Egland and Newsday reporter Mark Harrington have the story.
Construction has begun for offshore wind farms to serve Long Island, but recently there have been some questions about how much this is really going to cost us. Mark Harrington is working on this story. Let's begin by talking about why this is such a hot topic right now.
What's happening right now is that there's a revolution in energy on Long Island, and these dirty old fossil fuel plants are going to be replaced primarily by offshore wind farms over the next 5 to 20 years. So all eyes are on these wind farms to say, what are the costs, what are the impacts, how will we benefit, and that's what's happening right now.
Well, the companies, it sounds like, are now asking for more money for the projects. Why is that?
Well, 5 years ago, they locked in these contracts, but a lot has changed since then. The pandemic, inflation have driven up costs. So these companies need to recoup the increased costs to build, to pay for labor, all these things. And so they're going to the state and saying, we need to open up the contracts to get some more money.
Well, eventually this is going to provide our power here on Long Island. So how much are they telling Long Islanders this is going to cost them?
Well, they're saying in some cases, the South Fork wind farm, they're saying, is about $1.60 a month is what it'll cost people by the end of this year. two other large ones that are seeking to open up the contract, Sunrise Wind and Empire Wind 1, the state has said would cost ratepayers across the state about 73 cents a month. I think there are some people who question those numbers, and now they're asking for more, and that's why it's such an important question right now is, well, what is the cost going to be? And people are trying to find that.
Right, looking for a little more transparency to see what it really will be at the end of the day.
Exactly.
All right, thank you, Mark.
Okay, thanks.
You can read more about the rising costs of wind farms on Newsday.com. Click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. In today's business brief, a Long Island brewery has been sold to a cannabis company. Patchogue's Blue Point Brewery was acquired by Tilray. This is part of a bigger acquisition by Tilray, which bought 8 of Anheuser-Busch's craft breweries. Blue Point just celebrated its 25th anniversary. A proposal to legalize basement apartments in the town of Huntington did not get enough votes to pass. Some of the reasons: concerns about traffic, water quality, and garbage pickup. The goal of the proposal was to boost affordable housing. Basement apartments were legal in Huntington until 2019. Long Islanders are being asked to keep an eye out for an invasive bug. The USDA says August is a key month for keeping the Asian longhorn beetle under control. More than 50 square miles of central Long Island are currently in a quarantine to contain the pests. If you see one, the USDA recommends capturing it in a container and freezing it so it can be identified. You can also take a photo and contact the Asian longhorned beetle hotline. Let's take a look at your Long Island weather. Tonight, a really nice night, about 68 degrees and mostly clear. Tomorrow, highs in the low 80s with a potential for thunderstorms.
Long Island weather is brought to you by the Canine Center.
A Long Island boy who went through intense surgery just met his hero, and the two of them shared a very special moment. Carissa Kelman has the story.
I was coming to a baseball game.
Valley Stream teen Armand Mohammed's greatest wish came true when he met his hero Ralph Macchio at Citi Field.
I'm really happy to meet you.
In 2020, the then 10-year-old who was passionate about karate was diagnosed with scoliosis so severe he required an intensive 10-hour surgery.
It was really devastating. It was really heartbreaking to, not do karate anymore.
But just a year after his surgery, he was back practicing karate, inspired by the story of Macchio's character Daniel LaRusso in Karate Kid.
I was like, when I come back from the surgery, I don't care. I'm working as hard. I'm working 2 times as hard as I did. And
Armand arrived here at Citi Field excited to experience his first ball game. What he didn't know was his idol Ralph Macchio was waiting inside to meet the Long Island Karate Kid that inspired him.
I'm inspired by you, so I'm just lucky I have the opportunity to hang out with you for a little bit.
And meeting Macchio wasn't the only surprise.
I brought my old glove. If you mind throwing out a ceremonial first pitch for me to catch, are you into doing that on the field?
okay, I'm fine.
You mind?
Here's your pitch.
I guess I'm called Long Island's Karate Kid.
That's right. You're the inspiration.
From Citi Field, Carissa Kelman, Newsday TV.
And a nice throw there. You can read more about this game day surprise on Newsday.com. Click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. Teens on Long Island are learning the art of welding. Shari Einhorn continues our exclusive series, Tools of the Trades.
Playing with fire, literally. It is definitely one of the reasons some of these teens signed up for Metal Magic Camp run through eastern Suffolk BOCES. They use hot tools, and there's the danger factor. But beyond that, there is clearly an interest in welding.
I started welding like in my dad's garage, and I kind of liked it, so I wanted to start like getting more into it.
The program runs for 3 weeks and is for students in 8th through 10th grades. Learning by doing is a big plus for Patrick Gandley.
I learn better here, and you show me something here and I could actually see it with my eyes and do something with it instead of just all in the head.
So these yellow ones, right, they're good for straight across.
Instructor Ed Akers says he makes sure students know welding as a career means understanding not only metal, but also things like math and science.
Yeah, they get to come in, they get to build stuff, we get to, fabricate things in here and there, do some fun stuff, but, it's also very much an educational process.
Now, while the program is meant to spark an interest, a lot of the students here say they've already decided to make welding part of their long-term plans. High school senior Delaney Dugan has a cousin who's a welder and says she thinks it's a good choice for her, too.
I don't really think I'm cut out for the educational side of college and whatnot, but I've always worked well with my hands. Big thing in my family, blue-collar jobs and trades.
In Oakdale, I'm Shari Einhorn for NewsdayTV.
Very cool. You could read more tools of the trades on Newsday.com. Click Get More below the Newsday TV video box.
Watch Newsday TV on the big screen. Use the remote to activate Siri, Alexa, Roku, or the Google Assistant on your streaming device. Say Install Newsday. Newsday TV, covering Long Island like no one else can.
You're watching Newsday TV. I am Jill Wagner. Thank you for joining us. We'll leave you now with a look at your 7-day forecast.